Gold this week has been a little choppy, but I was able to pull out 262 pips from this crazy market. So if you're looking for an easier way to understand the gold market and what the market may potentially do this upcoming week, then stay tuned because this video is going to break down my game plan for the upcoming week. So that way you can have a strong game plan going into next week, especially because CPI is around the corner. Okay, cool. So if we look at the weekly time frame, we can see very clearly that this is the weekly candle from this week. Now we can also see that there's about 48 seconds left inside of the market, so roughly inside of the market. So I don't anticipate any crazy moves at this point. So since we drew our levels last week, I'm just going to do some minor updates for this week in order to come up with a cool game plan for this upcoming week. And also, if you haven't already, go ahead and download the 5-minute fast track guide because that is going to help you be able to set up your charts like I do, giving you step-by-step instructions, telling you exactly what I look for when I'm setting up these charts. It's totally free. Go ahead and click in the description box below. And I also wanted to say I do not have a Discord, I do not have a Telegram or any of that BS. Basically, what you see here on YouTube in the description box are all the links that I currently have and manage at this point. So definitely be careful out there and report it if you see something that looks a little risky. Anyway, let's go ahead and go down to the daily time frame. So now we can see this market with a lot more data, and we could also see that this market has been pretty much choppy for the past few months, but obviously there have been moves because some of you have told me that you have caught moves from these free videos here on YouTube that other people definitely charge for. So definitely appreciate all of this hard work that is going into this video because I do like making them, and I'm glad that it is helping you understand the markets a bit better. So if we look here on this daily time frame where the price action is a bit easier to read, I'm just going to call out this top level. This is at the very top, roughly at 3,500. And then we have another level right here around 34, 32. And then we also have this gray level right here currently at 33.94, but that may get changed because we can see this candle from this past week basically did something around the zone. And then for right now, I'm just going to skip a lot of these candles and come back to that because I don't want to confuse you. I want to keep it clean. So the other area that we're going to look at is around 32.68. I do have a level there, and then I also have a level down here at 32.46, especially because price tapped into that in the past. And I think I got one more level. So way down here at 32.08. And I think that is it for right now. What if you can trade gold or any market in just 1 hour per day, even if you have a full-time job, and still grow the account? Most traders think that they have to sit in front of charts all day, and maybe if they step away, they may either miss a setup or they may come back to a losing trade. Well, in this free masterclass, I'm going to show you a calm and repeatable way for you to enter trades with confidence, and you can lose all the anxiety when you step away from your charts. Go ahead and check out the free masterclass. It's totally free. So some of these levels in here may get adjusted, which is why I didn't really call these out. I stopped here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels that we will look at on lower time frames. So let's go ahead and go down to page 4. All right, so now we can see this data a lot more clearly. Okay, so one of the levels that I want to adjust is this level that I called out right here. Basically just reframing it for this week's price action. And if we move this over here and basically just find the average, I found a nice average roughly around 3,400 flat. Price was playing in that area this past week. So let me go ahead and move this over a little bit so you can see it. So right here, and then we still have this level here. When was this? Okay, so that was this past week as well. For right now, I'm going to get rid of this level because I don't know how it looks on lower time frames. So for right now, getting rid of that. And then this was last week, so this is still good. Price has not come down to that level, so we're just going to leave that alone. And that is sitting at 33.45. Also the same with this level right here. Actually, if we wanted to, we could actually adjust it. Even though price did not come down here, we could adjust it to be more in alignment with all these wicks over here. And this is at 33.32. Yes, it is super close to this. That could be a level, but actually I like this level right about here at 33.11 a bit more, just to give these zones a bit of room. So that is pretty much that. And then right here, I do have a level right here at 32.84. And then this level down here at 32.68, we already called that out, but just wanted to make sure that you have that level. So let's go ahead and go down to the H2 and see if there's anything that we can add or move around from this past week's price action. That was insanely choppy, as you can see, but basically still trending upwards. So really interesting right there. Let me get rid of some of these old alerts. All right, so now we have this level here. I do see another level that I want to draw, and that is going to be right around here. So let me get a good line about here at 33.81. And then there's some other levels in here as well that could possibly be drawn. So one right here at 33.64, that could be drawn as well. But for right now, I'm not going to draw that on my chart unless I see something on the H1 that I just want to mark up. But for right now, that's all I want to adjust on the H2 time frame. Let's go down to the H1 time frame so that way we could get closer into our game plan. So now on the H1 time frame, we can see these candles here. There's a lot of choppiness inside of here. So let me see how this looks if I move it up. I kind of want to find the average. So basically where I had it at before, roughly around 3,400 flat is going to be the best spot, at least to me. And right here, I do see a little bit more detail. So I'm just going to move it. And now this is sitting at 33.81, basically in the same spot. I just wanted my lines to be a bit cleaner. And if we go back over here and look at the price action, actually this level looks okay. This looks okay right here. Actually, I'm gonna put a level right here because it does make a lot more sense to me here on the H1 time frame. So let's just go ahead and place it right here at 33.69, really close to 33.70, wherever you want to place it. Obviously, it depends on your broker chart that you are using, but this one looks good to me. Okay, cool. So now that we have these levels here, now it's time to get into our game plan for the upcoming week. And as we can see very clearly, that price is pushing upwards, even though it's a bit choppy. So I'll mostly be looking for buys, but of course, with high impact news next week, it's really important to just adjust to whatever the market is telling you and not just stick to a bias just because you want to stick to it. So you really have to be flexible and fluid inside of these markets, especially now with all this tariff stuff that just keeps popping up and will not go away anytime soon. So let me go ahead and measure this range from here to here. Okay, so that's about 200 pips. Okay, a decent range. So it's been basically trading in this range here. So basically the first thing I'll be looking for is a buy, of course, from this level, this 3,400 all the way up to 34.32. That was actually my target this past week, but obviously it did not get there. And obviously we drew this level last week. So it should have been a target for you as well if you were following along. All right, cool. And so basically my idea inside of this consolidation, it's a little bit tricky, but I have been able to catch some moves inside of here this past week. So what I've been looking for is basically for price to come back and retest this level. We can see that it retested a number of times, but just because it retested X number of times in the past doesn't mean that it's going to continue to retest that level, because it could easily break and then do something else or whatever. So what I'll be looking for is essentially some sort of pullback, perhaps here, and then some sort of push up, maybe even a deeper retracement. We just have to wait and see what the market does at the beginning of next week. But this is basically my idea right there. Okay, so I won't really be looking for any shorts inside of this market unless a really safe area I would be looking for a short would be below this area right here at 33.45. Obviously, there could be potential for up here, but that's pretty much going against the trend. And I really don't like doing that because for me, they mostly don't work out. So I like to essentially follow the trend. So right here, this will be a short idea. And then essentially going from here to here for 333 points or pips inside of the market. So that would be a short idea. And then of course, coming all the way down here as well for even more. So that would be my idea on the downside. But essentially what I'm looking for is some sort of pullback and then a continuation for price to continue to push up. It would be great if it pushed up above this 34, 32 area. And then of course, just continue to go to the all-time highs. But we just got to wait and see. Obviously, this tariff stuff is really shaking the market and we just have to be patient when we're looking for our setups. So this is the analysis that I have for this week on gold. If you found this helpful, go ahead and comment the word gold in the description box below to let me know that you have made made it this far inside of the video and that you are serious about your trading and you want to continue to improve as a trader. I'll see you next time.